There was reasonable expectations that there'd be double games in 36 and blanks in 37, so I kept my wildcard to help me navigate these fun weeks and give me an edge on everyone else. And as it turns out, it's not going to happen. We've got 4 normal game weeks left. So that was funny. I could have done better in previous weeks had I used my wildcard, but never mind. These things happen. Welcome to Midnight Mule. I'm Midnight Mule FPL. In this video, I'm going to show you my plans for this coming Game Week 35. But before we do that, let's see who did well in the rather high-scoring Game Week 34. The highest score in the Midnight Mule Mini-league for Game Week 34 was 103 points, and that was managed by Tassandra Ramsamy with Super Strikers FC, 103 points. So starting at the back, that was with Jose Sarr 12, Trippier 15, Sessegnon and Aït-Nouri 11. Middle of the park, we had Captain Salah 16, Luis Diaz 7, Iwobi 5. And in attack, we had Cunha 15 and Isak for 6. And on the bench, Trent for 5 was the only points that would have made it slightly higher. And also with 103, we have Rahul Turvanka with Terry Tubbies with 103 points. And that was managed with Jose Sarr 12, Trippier 15, Sessegnon Aït-Nouri 11. Middle of the park, Captain Salah 16, Luis Diaz 7, Murphy for 6. And at the front, Cunha for 15 and Isak for 6. And then on the bench, Sanchez for 9, which wasn't as good as Sarr, Trent for 5 and Cucurella for 6. And they weren't as good as the defenders that was played. So that was a very nice score. Back at the top of our league is Yusuf Arake with Atomic with 88 points. That was managed with Aït-Nouri 11, Trippier 15, Trent 5, Captain Salah 16, Luis Diaz 7, Murphy 6, Cunha 15 and Isak 6. And then on the bench, Sessegnon for 11. So could have been slightly better, but they're still top, so still very, very good. As for me, I'm top of page 9. I'm 401st with 62 points. Now I took a -8. I wasn't playing my free hit. So Pickford I'm happy with because I had no goalkeeper at all and he got 4 points. So it was kind of like a free transfer and I wanted him for the next game in Game Week 35 at home to Ipswich. And then I knew I'd want Mbeumo, so he was easy enough to bring in. He only got 2 points. Then it was between Vissa and Cunha. And I was going to go Cunha, but then toward the deadline, I was getting too nervous that maybe he's not actually going to start. Maybe he won't play. So I went with Vissa because I did want Vissa for Game Week 35. And it would have only been worth getting Cunha if he would have outscored Vissa by at least 4 points. And it turns out he outscored by 8. So it was the wrong move, but it was a net of +5. So it was kind of all right, but not great. So I managed to get Pickford for 4, in defence Livramento for 6, and Robinson didn't even play because I think he was ill. He had an injury or something. That's the first game he's missed all season. So that was a bit rubbish. Only got 10 players out. Then in the middle I had Salah for 16 as captain, Bowen for 10, Murphy for 6, and at the front I had Isak for 6 and Vissa for 7. And then I had no bench at all because I wasn't free hitting. So 62 points, game week rank of around 2.5 million. But because of the -8, it wasn't really 62, it was more like 54. So a red arrow, but hopefully my last red arrow of the season. So I'm now 56 points the wrong side of 1 million, which is my worst ever score for this time of the season. However, I have had a good time. And that's more important than having a good rank. At least in my world it is. In the Cup, we've been following recently Kevin Thomas with the Gaffer, and he was up against Paul Alb with FC Bulldogs. Kevin managed 74 and Paul managed 78. So well done, Paul. And his team was Aït-Nouri 11, Semedo 6, Captain Salah 16, Bowen 10, Cunha 15 and Isak 6. And then on the bench, Luis Diaz for 7, Cucurella for 6. Now we don't know who he's playing next round because at the time of recording, and I got up early to do this before work, they hadn't yet done the draw, and I guess it does take them a long time to put all the balls in the bowl and swirl it around and take them out one at a time, and then do that for every cup that's going on. It would take a long time. Thank you very much to everyone who watches this. Hopefully it'll be better next season. So transfer options for me. So Robinson, Fulham don't have any great fixtures left. I got 1 free transfer. I could, for example, get Kivior, who's probably going to outscore him this game week. That's one thing I could do. I've also considered taking Palmer, who's been awful recently, basically. And I could get in De Bruyne, who is expected to start at home to Wolves. He could be getting some nice points. The only slight downside to that is if Haaland is maybe back on the bench and we think he's going to play the last 2 or 3 game weeks, then that's blocking me off from getting Haaland because I'll have 3 Man City players. So another option I've got is to just do nothing. And I've only got a few hours to decide because the deadline's later this evening. So I'm going to go with now thinking, what happens if I make no transfers at all? So my team would look like this. I'm thinking captain Mbuemo at home to Man United with his mate Visser. Then I'll have Bowen as my vice captain at home to Spurs. Then in goal I've got Pickford at home to Ipswich. I've got Gvardiol in defence at home to Wolves with his mate Marmoush up front. I've got Munoz at home to Forest. I've got Livramento away to Brighton with his mate Isak up front. And then I've got Palmer at home to Liverpool against Salah. So I think I can probably just about squeeze out a green arrow with this, especially considering some managers will be taking hits this game week to make their team slightly better because they've still got the hangover from their team from game week 33. And then on my bench, I'd have Henderson at home to Forest, Murphy away to Brighton, Robinson away to Villa, and Kirkes away to Arsenal. As for the background picture, today is May the 2nd, and it was on this date in 1933 that a sighting was published in a newspaper article in Scotland. So this is supposed to be the Loch Ness Monster and Dwayne Johnson, because it's his birthday today, May the 2nd. He was born in 1972, so he's even younger than me. And there we have it, what happened in Game Week 34 and my plans for Game Week 35. 4 game weeks left. I've still got my wildcard chip, but I don't need to play it this game week. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you have a good game week. Bye.